This is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com and NC Sports Genius 1. You can also follow my commentary and comments on sport and sporting events on Twitter at NC Sports Genius 1. Today I want to talk about boxing, and I'm going to preview the Timothy Bradley, Manny PacMan Pacquiao fight coming up June 9th. But first of all, I want to talk about a little bit about boxing in general. Now, my name's Middle Class Matt, and I sort of see myself as the everyday sports fan, the kind of guy that goes to work, comes home, and enjoys watching sports. But a lot of sports fans, especially the average sports fans, aren't big fans of boxing right now. And boxing has done some things to damage itself with corruption and the dependency on pay-per-views and just different things like that. A lot of times fights that aren't interesting where guys, dance around and poke each other and don't try to knock each other out. Just different things like that boxing has done. But still, it's a great sport. It's literally a sport where two men go into the ring, and one man, when he leaves, his career is going to be elevated, and he's going to go on to stardom many times with a win. And the loser is going to have to be either derailed. He's going to either be derailed or set back. For the most part. Sometimes that's not true, but for the most part. So they have to impose their will on each other. And the outcome will literally lead to riches and fortune and success, and the other person the opposite. So it's a great sport. Sort of as an average day, average person, everyday Joe. One thing that we do, the normal kind of middle class people, I guess, to say without using a better word, is that we still communicate by word of mouth. Now, you can find out a lot about media and sports from different sites like ESPN, Bleacher Report, the TV, the radio, but we still communicate by word of mouth. And what's good, we like to share with people. The two things that I want to talk about that are good is one, boxing, which I've already mentioned, and two is HBO. I have plugged them before. I don't get paid by them. I don't get any money from HBO. I think it's pretty obvious. And with them, they put on some of the best sports shows in the business. I've got a lot of my information about the Timothy Bradley fight from 24/7. And then I watched the Jim Lampley show as well. The Fight Game, I believe it's called. And it's a great insight on boxing. Anyway, with Timothy Bradley and PacMan, a lot of people really think that Manny Pacquiao is probably going to steamroll this guy, and he'll probably be a large favorite. I'm not so sure about that because Bradley provides some particular challenges. One, he's undefeated. So anytime you face an undefeated fighter, there's no game plan. What a lot of people forget is that we've sort of, as boxing fans, given Cotto a pass for his Antonio Margarito loss because most people believe that Margarito probably had loaded gloves. So we've given him a pass for that, and that's fine, but Miguel Cotto was destroyed by Manny Pacquiao. The Pac-Man absolutely destroyed him. Didn't beat him, destroyed him. So bad that his wife and children had to leave in the middle of the fight because they didn't want to see their father and husband beaten like he was being beaten. Now, like I said, I want to reiterate that he was destroyed. They had to literally hide the women and children because he was beaten that badly. So when Mayweather went into the fight, he had a game plan. He knew how to beat Cotto. There is no such game plan for Timothy Bradley. He hasn't been beaten. Now, he has been knocked down, but never beaten. Plus, Timothy Bradley's a dirty fighter, a crafty fighter. Most people think he doesn't have incredible power, but his best punch is probably a headbutt. That's what a lot of people have said. And he uses it. It's very crafty. It never looks intentional. He likes to hit people with the head. Really bothers people. It splits their eye open or whatever, and they bleed, impairing their vision. So that's something that he uses a lot. And he's a tough fighter with a high tolerance of pain who will get off the canvas and fight. Manny Pacquiao may knock him down like he did several other fighters early on in the fight, and they will get back up, or he will get back up and he could still win the fight. So he's a very dangerous fighter in that way. But I still am going to pick Manny Pacquiao to win. What will be the most interesting is to see how his newfound dedication, his newfound faith. Even though Manny Pacquiao has been a Christian, he has become very dedicated to his faith to God, and to see if that helps or hinders his fighting ability. Now, most people say, well, that can't do anything but help, because Manny Pacquiao's cleaned up his life. He's become more dedicated to his wife. He stopped the drinking and gambling and carousing he was doing. Now, a lot of people, there are rumors that he was seeing other women. If that is true, he stopped doing that. He's become dedicated to his family, dedicated to his wife, and more importantly, dedicated to his God, which all that springs from. Well, that could affect his fighting ability positively or negatively. Sometimes when that happens, a fighter or an athlete becomes more focused. Look at Tim Tebow, how focused he is because of his faith. So as a result of his faith, he's very focused on football. But sometimes someone's occupation or hobby or love or desire or whatever it is interferes with their relationship with God. And when that's the case, sometimes you have to remove that and make that less important to become closer in your faith to God. So that's a possibility that could happen to Manny Pacquiao, and that could actually hurt him in this fight. So it should be interesting to see him fighting an undefeated, crafty young fighter in his prime. Timothy Bradley's only 28 years old. And I think in some ways this fight is more challenging than Mayweather fighting Cotto, for the reasons I talked about first. But I'm still going to pick Manny PacMan Pacquiao to win the fight. Should be interesting. Be sure to tune in June 9th. And this is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com. And I'll see you next time.